Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar focusing on the latest features of our web reports. My name is Nils Betzler. I'm Product Manager Life Sciences at Qualisys, and it's great that you're joining us today. So today we will have a team of people helping us with this webinar. I'll just go back to the presentation, and well, that's myself, and I'm joined by David Emilsson. And David, as one of our web developers, has been working with us for more than 5 years and is sort of one of many brains behind many of the things that we'll show today. So it's great that he's joining us today to show the content. And besides David, I'm also joined by Vincent, one of our biomechanical experts, who will be answering questions on the chat. If you have any questions, just click the Q&A button at the bottom of the screen in Zoom and type in your questions, and then either we will answer them right away in the chat if possible, or sometimes we will just answer them at the very end in the Q&A session in about 30-35 minutes towards the end of this webinar. So today we'll focus on our web reports, but before we get into that, I would like to introduce the concept of our analysis modules, because web reports are essentially one of the outputs of our analysis modules. When we talk about an analysis module, we mean a module that is a combination of marker sets, marker labeling lists, biomechanical model, sort of the whole processing pipeline and reporting. And within those modules, basically we provide like a one-stop solution to do all data processing for different sports and different types of movement. And those movements could be gait, baseball, golf, running, cycling, equine, or functional assessment. If you're interested in those, take a look at our website or get in touch with us. We are more than happy to provide you more information. And this is sort of the starting point when we talk about web reports. And because these reports are linked to the different modules. So how did we get there? Back in 2010, we had a user group meeting in Liverpool. And one of the topics there was that how can we make gait data more accessible? And I remember there was like someone had a prototype of a Gait report on a tablet. And this was like something that seemed like something that is going to happen in the long-term future. But 2 years later, some of my colleagues launched an interactive running report for a specific project locally here in Gothenburg. And this sort of grew over the years, got a new design. And then 2018, we launched our current web report framework. And this has grown from something that was made for one specific project locally into a whole framework that allows us to create interactive reports very easily, and that also non-web developers can sort of design and change. And when we do development in this framework, we are trying to make as much of it accessible to all of you as the users, because in our mind, you are the experts for the data that you are looking at. So you should be able to modify the reports and to get exactly the data out and the information out of the reports that you want. And some of the features that we'll show today are basically just about that, about modifying reports. Okay, so with that, where can you use these reports? So you can see a list here on the right-hand side, a list of the different modules: gait, baseball, cycling, functional assessment, golf, running, and equine lameness. And in all of those, we have like sort of interactive HTML report. And we have these either as an offline report for clinical gait and the equine solution, or in the vast majority as an online report. And online report means that the data is uploaded into the cloud and accessible only, of course, to you with a secure login, and then sort of displayed as an interactive web page. But because that web page is in the cloud on our server, you are able to share access with other people. For example, if you do a running analysis for someone, you can share a secret link so that the runner can access this report as well. And it's not mandatory to use these reports. So if there are reasons like regulatory restrictions from a hospital, for example, then you are able to, of course, use the Visual 2D option. You can see that's available for almost all of the modules, or for some of them, there's also a Word report where you basically create a Word document with all the content. But if you are able to use the online reports, then basically all of what we say today applies. Some of the general features that have been around for a long time, and if you are a regular using of the reports, this part is not news to you, but some of the regular parts that are part of this platform is that you can easily visualize the data that has been processed in Visual 2D or other tools. And there's a summary section, what you can see here, for example, with different metrics. You have like interactive charts where you can switch between left and right comparisons, like overlaid on top of each other. You can have you can switch interactively between all trials or just the mean. Video and 3D data is all synchronized within the platform. You will see that later in the demonstration. And you can create comparison reports. So if you have previous sessions, you can just simply type in the name of the person, for example, load the session, and then overlay the data from up to 5 sessions within a single report. And you can export the end result into a PDF export or a PDF document. And within that PDF document, we also include any comments that you may have added to the report and annotations. So you can add symbols to charts and create sort of a complete assessment in the online platform. If you're interested in any of those features that have been around for some time, take a look at the Q Academy material or get in touch with us, and we're happy to help you out to get more information about that. But today, the focus will be on the latest features. And as a short summary, we'll talk about how you can manage settings, how you can look at the report status, how to get a summary of which measurements are included in a report, and then, most importantly, within the reports, how to customize layouts, how to import C3 files that have been pre-processed in other software, how to add a guidance document, and how to copy and paste charts and table data. And to look at this in more detail, I'm very happy to be joined by David, who will run you through this process. Hi.
Thank you, Nils. All right. So today I will show you some of the new features of the web platform. I will begin with some smaller UI features, but they are very useful and nifty. So detachable 3D viewers and videos for the web reports, dark light mode switch to switch the colors of the report. We'll take a look at the new settings page since about a year ago. Report status indicator, we'll show you that as well, and report measurement summary. So let's dive into our web report and look at the first two features. Let's open up this report right here. Let's look at these detachable 3D viewers and videos. So on the 3D viewer and on the videos, you'll have this icon here. If you click on this, it will open up the 3D viewer and videos in these floating overlays. So you can move them around, you can resize them. They will always stay on top. And if you don't want to see them anymore, you can just close them down. Next time you open them up, they will open up in the same place. These are great if you want to keep the videos and 3D viewer large as you're inspecting the report. Obviously, they also will play along with the reports. If you decide that you like having the videos up there, they will keep being opened up in the same place, even if you close the report and open another one. The next feature I wanted to show you is this light and dark mode switch. So by clicking this little switch here, you can see that you can switch the color theme of the report. It doesn't change anything about the layout of the reports, but just the colors. If your lab has any branding requirements for the reports, you can lock it down to be either light or dark mode. So you can do that in the settings. Speaking of which, we can take a look at the report center and the new settings page. So as I said, this was released last year, but I'd like to show it anyway. On this page, you will find all of the report definitions that you'll have. And you can set settings specific to these different report definitions. So by just clicking on them in this sidebar here, you'll find settings about like what layout to use, what color theme, that's what we're just looking at, and things like measurement systems or things like that. But also, this is the way you change your logo for the reports. You can also have a secondary logo. So if you have a logo that fits better on a light UI and another logo that fits better on a dark UI, you can do that here. Let's go back to the report list and take a look at two features here. The first one is the report status indicator. So on each report, you'll have this round icon with colors. This is completely up to you how you want to use it, how you want to use it to categorize the report. But it's a great indicator to within the team to know in what state a report is, if you started to work on it, or if it's done, or if it's just uploaded. The last small feature I want to show is these measurement summaries. So for each report, you can see how many measurements are included in the report. And if you click this little icon here, you can see a summary of the measurements that are in there. This can be helpful to help differentiate between multiple sessions of the same user, whether we're doing different movements, for example. And let's go on to the next slide here. Report layouts. So this is a bigger feature that we released recently. And it allows you to change the appearance and the layout of your reports. So let's say if we open up a running report here, you can see that by default we get these sections here: pelvis, hips, knees, etc. Let's say that we wanted to have a different set of data in our report. So we can go back into settings for running, and then we can click this customize button. If you do that, you'll get a list view of the current layout. In here, you can turn sections off, and you can reorder them. So let's say that we wanted to have a lower body report only. This means we can turn off the upper body, arms, kinetics, leave pelvis down to the feet. And we'll call it lower body and hit save. Now, if we go back to the report and reload, you can see that we have much fewer sections. So only the lower body of the person. Let's take a look at reordering it. Maybe we want to start from the feet going up. You can just drag and drop these like so to invert the order. Hit save. And then we can reload this report. you can see that it starts with the feet and going upwards. Let's open it up a last time. You can also go in to these sections and turn off sections within the different larger sections. You can also reorder these. You can even go further in some cases to turn off like these tables here. So in this case, we would expect the report to start with ankles and feet and then foot pronation supination. Let's hit save and reload. Now it starts with ankle, feet, foot, pronation, supination. So this is great if you want to make something custom where you only show part of the report that's relevant to your lab. The other aspect of this is that in some cases you might want to apply a specific layout or a custom layout to a specific report. To do so, you can click this icon here, and under the report layout, you can select the layout that will be applied to this report only. So by default, it's using our new lower body layout. But let's change it to the default running for this report only. You can see that now this report has this layout override icon. And if we open it up, it will show the default layout again. But if we take that other report here, it will use the default layout, which is the one we just created. The next topic is C3D import. So this is a feature that lets you import conventional Gait model data. So that's pre-processed data that you've been collecting using another system, but that you can import and visualize in our reporting platform. So I will demonstrate how that works. This requires a specific license. And if you got that license, you got this import button here. So we can click that import button and we'll see this interface here. This box is a drop zone, so we can drop files into there. So I will simply take a folder that contains various files. It contains some video files, C3 files, and other metadata files. I can just drop the entire folder onto here, and it will automatically read through the files and figure out some metadata here. We can correct the subject name. We can see that we have 2 complete measurements, and if we click this detailed view, we can get a overview of what it found, what kind of files it found. So for the session data files, it found all of the necessary metadata files. And for the measurement files, it's the same thing here. You can see green ticks for all of the different things, and also the video, which is optional. Then we can click Create Report. And in this case, it's warning us about some metadata that's missing, but that's not affecting the report itself. So it lets us continue here. Click continue, and then it uploads the report, and it's done already. And if you click this button here, you can view it. So this will take the pre-processed Gait data and display it just like any other Gait report from Qualisys. And it's fully compatible with comparing to other Qualisys reports, etc. But you get all of the data, the 3D viewer, and videos. So that was C3D import. A guidance document. That's something that was requested by a customer to provide some more information to the users on how to interpret the report and how to work and interact with the report. So we can take a look at the settings page again. And take Gait. And this is where we can upload a file that will be linked to from the report, from within the report. So let's just upload a PDF into here. And then we will call this guide. And if we open up a Gait report now, you can see that we have this button up in the navigation menu saying guide, and that's available for all your Gait reports. And if you click it, it will take you to the PDF that you uploaded. So that's a great way to give your customers or your team some way to read about how to use and interpret the reports. And then for the last feature I wanted to talk about today is the copy paste. So we added some features to copy charts and tables so that you can paste it in Word or Excel, PowerPoint, or whatever else you can paste data into. So I'm going to demonstrate that. Taking a look at this report here. For graphs, you have this button up here that says copy chart. And if you click that button, it will be placed in the clipboard of your computer. Then you can just open up a document and paste it. And you can continue to copy multiple ones and just paste them into your document. So this is great if you have a custom report or a summary that you want to write, where you want to pull in some data to visualize findings that you have. Let's take a look at copying of a chart. So let's open a different report that has some nice, of a table, I mean, sorry. Let's open a report that has a table. You can open up a functional assessment one and go to the metrics section. So when you hover over a table, you'll see this icon here. It's the same icon as for the graphs. And if you click it, it will be placed on your clipboard. And now you can open an Excel document and simply paste it, and it will be formatted according to the grid. And you can continue to copy multiple ones and paste them in. Again, great way to get the process data into another document where you might need it. And that's it for me and my demo. And back to Nils.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, David. I always learn a little bit as well when watching this. So that's great. I will do a short summary now. And while I do that, please post your question on the chat, on the Q&A, and we'll be very happy to answer them at the end of the session. Before I summarize, I would also like to look a little bit in the future. So what are our plans for the future? Because I know that many of you are using the platform a lot. So of course, it's nice to know what's going to happen next. And the most exciting thing that we are currently working on, I think, is what we call Calculus. It's an online processing engine, which means that if you want to you will be able to move the data processing into the cloud as well. So this engine will take the skeleton data from QTM, from our sports marker set, and run sort of biomechanical processing on it to get joint angles, to define events, to pull out metrics, which then populate the reports. And it will be available for most of our current reports, but there will also be a generic report, which means that you can record any type of movement and then sort of define your own processing steps or refine processing steps, and then the data will be shown in a report based on the skeleton solver data. As of now, that generic report is somewhat predefined, but like you saw today, you can turn joint angles on and off and make changes to that report. So I'm sure there will be another webinar about that at some point next year after the launch. So looking back at what we saw today, we presented our web report platform. It's a unique platform combining data, 3D data, video data, 3D skeleton viewer, all in one platform that you can use without any particular software. So if you share a report, any of your colleagues or customers is able to review the data in the platform. And like you saw today, the platform keeps evolving. We are adding more features. We are listening to your feedback. And it's always great to hear in an event like this, for example, to see what feedback we get. And also when we are visiting customers, of course, to like hear how the platform is used and what we can do to enhance it further. Like, for example, the guidance documents or the copy features are like direct consequences of that sort of feedback. You can find more information on the webinar page where you signed up for this webinar today, and the recording will be available in a few days in the same location. And there's also more reference material about online reporting, such as the Q Academy material, which is sort of a library of videos and PDF documents with instructions and how-to guides that run through our online processing platform, and also about how to use our analysis module. If you are not currently using the platform, but you're interested in using one of the modules, please reach out to your Qualisys representative, to your distributor, or directly to sales@qualisys.com. And we'll be more than happy to provide you with a trial license so you can give it a try. Okay, so with that, we move on to the Q&A section. I'll stop the screen share here and take a look at what questions we have coming in. One question was if this recording will be available. So yes, it will be available on the webinar page within a few days, and it's public, so you can share it with colleagues or recommend it to others. Another question is about licensing. So do I need an extra license to use the platform? And the short answer is no. I mean, it's part of the Qualisys support agreement right now. So you can use it without any restrictions. And we also allow anyone to try the platform at the moment. So even if your support agreement is not up to date right now, as long as you have a sort of fairly up-to-date version of QTM of the analysis module, you will be able to upload reports. And there's no limit on the number of reports right now, except sort of a, let's say, call it fair use policy. And that's the current license model. It's also another question is can I add my own parameters to the custom layouts? Yeah, maybe for that, David, do you want to join me for that question about adding custom parameters? Maybe that's better suited for you.
Yes, so currently no. What you can do is to turn off and turn on the different sections that we have in our predefined layouts. In the future, we hope to expand on this functionality a lot more, but currently you can use it to customize what we are producing for your own lab.
Yeah, thanks, David. Another question was where can I find the web report user manual on the website? Those manuals about like how to upload the data, how to run the processing are part of the analysis module. So if you let's say you're running the Gait module, you create a project in QTM using the Gait module. And when you create the project, there is a documentation folder inside the project. And that contains a PDF document, which explains how to use the module and how to upload the data. And when it comes to how to use the platform, the written documentation is quite limited. We think and we hope it's fairly intuitive to use, but we do have Q Academy tutorials for all the main functions, like how to use the sports web reports, how to use the Gait web reports. So for that, if you just go to the client login and then go to Q Academy and search for web report, for example, or report center, you'll find those tutorials as well. Thank you very much for joining us today. Thank you to everyone at the Qualisys team who helped creating this webinar, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.